Casting?
Podcasting.
Podcasting. Okay.
Yeah, we're starting this.
Let me write my notey notes.
But it's
Oh
just
my
trying to
gosh,
get
how
in
much trimming do you
our,
want to be doing?
our ears getting oiled for this conversation.
Okay,
So
sounds good.
so I've got the name, the title of this episode.
Oh, what is it?
So it is the Then When, episode 2. Then Woo.
Ooh, then woo. I
Then
love
Woo,
it.
guys. Yeah, we're here to woo you up today. So I am your host, Serina.
And I'm Mary.
Hey, and we are here to continue this long-standing conversation and that ever-pressing question, if not now,
Then when?
that's right. So, welcome back. If you
Yeah.
made it through the first episode and just kind of working through our jitters, or not even jitters really, just kind of
Us
figuring it
working it
out.
out.
Yeah,
Totally.
exactly. So I've made my notes of little things that I am going to be doing. So I'm going to almost be sitting on my hands because I feel like I shake the world over here whenever I start talking, and
It's
I'm
with your
all over
fancy
the place.
desk.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I didn't think about how I was in the last episode at all.
You're
So I'll still
perfect.
be talking with my hands because I'm
Jazz
from New
hands.
York.
Jazz hands. Spirit fingers.
Oh my gosh, we could not have planned that any perfectly.
Yeah,
I totally
absolutely.
love it.
No scripts
Mwah.
here, folks.
Chef's kiss here. Welcome to our Chef's Kiss podcast.
Yes.
I love it.
What are we going to cook up today, Mary?
I think we should cook up some woo. What about you?
Oh, I like my woo with a little bit of mystical magical on the side. So, yeah. So here we are.
So I'm the kind of person where when someone says something that sparks a song lyric, boom, I got
Yeah.
that song in my head. And so there's so many things you said last episode that I was just like, song, song, song.
Oh, we should put
But
together a playlist of all the things that just get fired
ooh,
off whenever, because I am the same. Like, I heard something pop up yesterday and literally went into some lyricist aspects
yeah,
of singing back what. And I know we're not the
totally.
only ones. That's for sure.
Let's do that. Check out our playlist on Spotify. We'll throw one together for every episode so you
Mhm.
can jam out with us because we are music loving people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Mary and I love to dance. And actually, one of the cool things that we're going to be doing in the future
Mhm.
is kind of not really getting out of a total comfort zone, but exploring something new together. And it is a
Yeah.
dance retreat. So we're going to have a great
Yes.
time. We hope to take you guys along with us and just to kind of experience what that's like. So
Yeah, I cannot wait for that. I love dancing. I dance literally all the time, brushing my
yeah.
teeth. Sometimes I'm dancing.
It's a somatic
Um,
release. Your body wants to move. It's got all of this stuff sitting
yes.
around going, where do I go? So, yeah.
Yeah. And like the more I let go as I'm dancing, the fuller I feel in my body, and like honestly, I am a much better dancer. Now that I've just like let go and feel the music in my body. And so that's really fun because I used to be really self-conscious about dancing in front of
Right.
others.
No, it's just about an expression of joy or grief or anger, just to move all of that energy around and shake up all of those little uh, dormant spots really inside of you, and like moving all of that to the tips and the ends and within the cells. So I am
Yes.
here for it. So yeah.
Same. Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be so fun. Um, Maybe that would spark someone that we talk to.
Ooh. So does
Um,
anybody out there have any kind of apprehension about dancing in public or even for yourself, or learning how to dance? I mean,
oh
or
yeah.
teaching people how to dance. Like, some people might be learning how to teach people how to dance, but then be weirded out because they're like, "Oh, I'm not good enough to teach someone."
Oh
These are
my
all these kinds
gosh.
of things that
Good
run through our
enough.
heads.
Dude, we could do an
Oh,
entire episode on good enough,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I think
That's
it's
what Then When is
in our
about,
queue.
is good
Mhm.
enough, like both mentally and in our actions,
Right.
right? So, like,
Right.
when is something good enough? If we waited until this podcast was good enough, we would never put it out there because we're such perfectionists. So, we have to embrace the mentality of if not now, when, right? Then when are we going to do this?
Right, and our internal critics are just brutal, brutal. Man, if
Mm,
I would basically go through and say, "Okay, if I go back and re-listen or rewatch and I just go, oh, shouldn't have done that. Oh, should have done that. Oh, whatever." You know,
yeah.
um, yeah,
And let me
it
ask you
really
something.
gets real. Mhm.
Who is noticing that?
Just me, just my inner
Exactly.
critic. Yeah.
Oh,
So
whenever I, give a presentation or a talk or something,
mhm.
afterwards, I'm like, "Oh, maybe I should have said this, or I wish I would have remembered that, or this is a great example of that." And, no one notices, and, everyone says really nice things about whatever I've done, right? And
Right.
so it's like we get in our heads about things so much. When can we just kind of like let that go and accept the all of like the efforts we did put into it
Uh-huh.
and let that be what it is and take that with you instead of criticizing so much.
Right, celebrate the courage to actually try it. Why
Yes.
not, right? So,
Yeah,
here we are
getting
celebrating the
outside of
courage.
your comfort zone, right? That
Sure.
takes courage.
Yeah.
And how, much time do you feel uncomfortable in that moment? I think I said it last time, but
You
it's
did,
true.
yeah. But no,
Whenever I
it
feel
bears
nervous
repeating, that's
about
for sure.
talking in front of people, I'm
Mhm.
always like, "I can do this," because the nervousness is only for the first, maybe well, like, listen, let's not say the lead up, but, but,
Everybody has
like
their own threshold, let's be real about that.
exactly, but then when you're there and you start to get into your flow, and that's really, um, when you can just kind of let go and be in the moment and
Mhm.
you know that you've got this.
Yeah, it kind of connects with something that we're gonna talk about today, which is how do we feed these or why do we keep on feeding our limiting beliefs? Right?
Oh, I love
And
it,
so,
yeah.
if we're gonna go back to the woo, right? We're gonna
Yeah,
go back to the mysteries of astrology or just the stars essentially. You know, I there's some credence I feel like we've carried this along so far, centuries, right?
mhm,
That yes, we have science. Yes, we have our own, logical brains that bring forth that, we always can figure something out and we can take the magic out of it.
yeah.
Or we can just take the mysticism out of it. But sometimes that wonder and that whimsy still is just so lovely and delicious to sprinkle on top of the logic, right? So,
Yes, I love
um,
when you say whimsy.
I do too. It's one of my favorite words. So,
Oh, I love that.
um, but and again, the whimsy and the logic constantly at
Mm,
battle, but
yeah,
they can coexist and they can really appreciate and express through the lens of each other how they both they really are dependent on each other because you
yeah,
have the curiosity to go out and figure these things out. And
mhm,
so if we're talking about it, let's talk about the horoscopes of things, right? I
yeah.
used to be somebody who would read the horoscope first thing in the morning. I mean,
Ooh,
not religiously, but, like, I think
sure.
at work, I'd be like, "Okay, it says I'm going to have a challenging day today." So I would look for everything that would be challenging, and then I'm like, "My horoscope was right," you
Oh,
know?
booski.
Yeah, so, look,
What
I
about on
just
the days where it was like, "Today's your day, girl, you got this."
yeah, and then I'm like, "Ooh, I'm gonna just say yes to everything," and then I'm just gonna be like, "Ooh, yeah, it's gotta be perfect," and then I'm like, "Oh."
Ugh,
Well, then on the
yeah,
end of it, I'm going, "Am I disappointed because it wasn't the most amazing thing, or could I be grateful for the things that were amazing within
yeah.
the day?" So look,
Yes,
like,
totally.
there's a part of it that if you live 100% to the T of a horoscope, I'm gonna tell you, you might wanna loosen your grip just a little bit, give yourself some grace, right?
Yeah,
In the whole mix. But some of the fun is actually in retrospect, going back and seeing like how and yes, you can sit there and go, "Oh, that was right. Yeah, yeah, that
mhm,
felt right."
yeah.
And some of it is, some of it's broad. Let's be real. So depending on your source, some
But
of it can just
some
be
of it
so
is
broad.
just really so spot on,
Oh
right?
yeah. Like hits
Like,
you to
I'm
the
a Virgo,
core.
and the stuff that I see about Virgos, I'm like, "Oh gosh, at least, like, I feel normal now."
Mary, do you check mine? Because I always check yours when I see like one of those things come up is like, oh, your horoscope means this. And then I go, I gotta check Mary's too. So
Yes, of
I'm
course.
I'm
Or
always
whenever I
goalie.
match with you in that app that we have, I
Mhm.
always screenshot it or, like, whoever I'm matching with, I screenshot it and I text it to them, and but my friend that checks it a lot, she's always like, "Yeah, duh, I know this."
Yeah, duh.
I'm
So
like, "I love that."
yeah, but there's sometimes when I'm like, okay, so I went through some really cool like meditation retreat like back in November, and these
Mm,
words were just coming forward, and I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to the words because they are just constantly happening and they really are resonating. I feel them in my cells, kind of thing.
yeah,
And I just kind of put him in the back. I just kept him on the side and I said, "Okay, these 3 words, these 3 concepts, I'm just going, yes. Yes, okay, that makes sense to me." And they
mhm,
were unrelated, and they're not typically things that just stick up for like in front always in my vernacular or what I work every single day, those kinds of things.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden, boom, like all these big shifts, all these big, chart things and all these things that come for the Capricorn and, that big Capricorn energy I've got. But
yeah,
um because that logic is like, nah. And then all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 and just constant pattern, constant repeat. And
yeah,
I would go and check other people's and I'm like, is it saying it? Come on, this is BS. Like it's saying this to everybody. No, it
mhm,
was coming straight for my jugular. And I was like, okay, my spiritual openness is going to embrace this, accept it. I'm going to
mhm,
trust it. I'm allowing it in. I'm going to surrender my whole self
yeah,
in this moment
yeah,
to really explore it. And that is honestly one of the reasons why this podcast has kicked off because these are those kinds of conversations you and I have had. Um,
totally.
because we like to tickle the woo together, and especially for us. And I know I keep on throwing the woo around, but
Yeah,
um, it 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 kinda has some merit to it, or at least we
yeah,
allow the merit to happen, and we embrace the whimsical aspect of it, and we go, "Yes, this is what feels good."
yeah.
It doesn't hurt anything, let's just roll.
Right,
So
yeah. But honestly, like I'm a science person. I want to see things in action, right? But also, there's something to be said for these things that have been passed down through centuries, right?
Mhm,
And people have had these traditions, but those traditions have come out of something.
right.
And so it's funny. I was just talking to my mom about this. I think she's a saint or a martyr or something, Catherine of Hildegard.
Okay.
And I think that's right, Hildegard. Link in the description or whatever we say
Whatever.
here. Check our
For
show
real.
notes for that.
Just pound that like and subscribe. Ring the bell.
um, oh gosh. But I think she was, like, around in the 13th century or something, and she had these visions and stuff since she was little, and
Mm,
she went to the Pope and said, "Hey, this is what's going on." She was a kid, and she's like, "Can I write these down?" And he said, "Sure, write them down, let me look them over," of course, because it's a Catholic church,
of
whatever,
course.
no shade there.
Permission.
Um, but, I'm here to respect all religions. But no, it was interesting because, he then saw them and he was like, "Wow, this is profound." And then she wrote many, many books after that, and she ended up composing music from it. And so, as much as I'm like, "Yeah, science, show me this, prove me that," right? This has been happening for centuries, right? I experience this within myself. Sometimes something just comes to me and I write it down, you know?
Right, yeah,
Remember that one time something came to me for you and I wrote it down and you were like, "Wow, this is amazing. I totally understand this." And it was incredible. I mean, like it doesn't happen often, but there's something to
right.
be said for these kinds of things.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
So
like remembering your
I'm here for it.
dreams, just really kind of pulling from the ether the musings of creativity or just direction, right? And so, y- yeah, I know we kind of just are getting outside of some of that realm, but that is also part of the stuff that is our intuition, like our
Yeah.
instincts and things, and that's
Oh,
our
I
guts
love
that
that you
tell
said that.
us. Yeah.
Yes. You know what? I love when people are like, "Oh, my stomach hurts right now. I'm feeling really anxious." Like, "Yes, dude, that is your
Mhm.
body talking to you. Like,
Right.
listen to your body."
Yeah. It,
And it wasn't until I started doing that that some of the stuff that I was experiencing kind of went away because I was addressing the underlying issues,
right.
right? Which weren't which, manifested physically.
Right. And so one of
Yeah.
mine has been something that's been carried almost decades now. And so
Mm,
for the longest time it was this idea and this belief and this alignment to myself, or this pact almost that I had internally with this old version of myself, to
yeah.
just stay in a lane, stay in one
Yeah.
lane. This limiting belief, coming back to that. And this is, part of it, that if I'm going to embrace something that's going to be inspirational and motivational for me, is, yeah, what, 2025, year of the snake, right? The
Yeah.
Chinese zodiac, or, Eastern zodiac, essentially, to embrace through this lunar new year, which ends what, the 16th of February, and flips into the year of the horse, right?
Okay.
On the 17th. And so the snake really is transformative. It's more intuition, it's more intellect, and kind of really kind of observationally making sure you're getting ready for some kind of transition, right? And
Yeah.
part of it is about shedding that skin and
Mm,
shedding those ideas. And mine was that limiting belief. And that one, number one limiting belief for somebody who has so many curiosities, was
mhm.
that I could only pick one thing to be
Ah,
in my life. And it has held me it's held me accountable, it's held me responsible. It has
mhm.
helped me get to this point in my life, so I do not poo-poo it, essentially, for who it has helped me become.
Yeah.
But it did get to a point where I would almost be paralyzed to make a decision to better myself in a particular direction through education, certification, just exposure, because I could not see how it could help me deviate off of that rail
Yeah.
that I was on. And
Sure.
so I really do challenge it a lot, and that's kind of comes to this quote that everybody has heard of in some capacity, but has never heard the complete quote, or
Okay.
attributes the complete quote, is the "Jack of all trades, master of none," which is
Mm.
a criticism if you stop there. But
Mhm.
if you continue it, it is, "Jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one." And that really just
Mm.
kind of says, look, there's going to be different mindsets here. You're going to have specialists. Those are the masters, right?
Sure.
Those are the ones that have dedicated and the discipline in that space, and God love them, like, honestly, have total reverence for.
Mhm.
I also feel like it is so imperative to have the generalists, right? It's the people who can
Yeah.
stand back and connect and see how differing opinions, differing, points of view, differing, like, backgrounds bring this, oh, how dare I say it, the diversity that is needed to press us forward in progress, right?
Sure.
And that is the place that I really thrive in. That is the place that I'm unapologetic about now, as
Mhm.
I am shedding that belief of myself that I can only be one thing good enough,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
so it created this weird hyper focus in me, and it did kind of bat away all of those frivolous ideas, and I air quote frivolous, because to be curious about other things, or to see what, or be drawn towards something else, really is your gut telling you that there's a connection
Yeah.
and there's something to
Definitely.
be explored there. So thank you for letting me be on my little soapbox about that for a moment.
No,
But
it's I love that because that's so many of us, especially in our generation, right?
mhm,
Coming from baby boomers who, you picked a career and you stuck with that until you retired and got your watch and your rocking chair as
right.
mementos. But
Ouch! I got a rocking chair after my 20 years stint. I got
did
2,
you?
actually, yeah.
Ooh, wait, my mom also got a rocking chair and so did my dad. And so that's why I have that
Mi
example.
Mine are pretty cool looking, though, I gotta say. I picked them out myself,
The
but
ones outside.
yeah, man.
Oh, those are bomb. I
I
love
know,
them.
right? So
But yeah, I mean, but now our generation, I mean, some of us are like that, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. We need career people, right? In different industries and whatnot. And there's space for us other people, right? I mean, I couldn't live that life, or maybe well, I definitely didn't have the time, but I couldn't live this kind of life of like tapping into my different creativities and having different things under the same umbrella until, I started doing this, and had my own business and had more flexibility in that.
Right.
And, for me, it feels amazing and freeing and a little scary at the same time because I'm somebody that has a lot of ideas and not all of them are great. But so like I need to, it helps me practice to focus on something and then go with that and see it through, which I'm constantly working on.
So what's your method? I'm gonna ask you that. It's like, so you said you have to pick something to focus on.
Yeah.
How do you select that in that moment? Because like, obviously the other things still exist. The
Yeah.
other things are still there. What do you do in practice to make sure that you don't forget about the things that you've put on the back burner? And how did you select the thing that was most important to bring
Oh, love
forward?
that. Um, so I think what tips me off first is I start feeling really overwhelmed.
Mm,
And I've got all these different projects going on here, there, and everywhere, within myself and connected to other people. And so my first clue is when my body is like, dude, you are overwhelmed. You have to focus up here. So what are you going to do? So for me, I'm a visual person. So I love lists and I know that I can get lost in lists sometimes.
lists are so sexy. I'm so sorry, not sorry about
Mm, I
that.
love a good list and crossing off something off your list. It's so cathartic.
More
I
chef's
mean,
kiss, yes.
mwah.
Uh,
Welcome to Chef Kiss Radio. Yeah.
this compilation of us just doing chef's kisses all over
Oh
the
my
place.
gosh. Somebody do that for us after we have more of these
Of
episodes.
course. How
Appreciate
many
you
times?
guys. We love this
Later, Graham.
community. No, but it's so true. I can get lost in a list. And also when I stop using lists, then I kind of lose myself a little bit, so I have to go back to the list. I like to make priorities, so like now, next, and then
Later.
future stuff
Mhm.
later. Thank you.
Horizon. Horizons too.
Horizon. Oh,
Mm.
I love a good sunset and sunrise.
Multisyllabic words. Delicious.
Now you're talking to my nerd brain there.
I know, I know.
Um, but yeah, so visual stuff helps me focus, reminders on my phone that are annoying. I don't like to have stuff like that. So, yeah, that really helps me. And then feeling good afterwards, like crossing something off my list or, getting it off my board and shuffling more things around. So, yeah, those are some things that helps me. What
Yeah.
about you?
Oh, I love a good list, you know that.
Mhm.
Man, I will tell you my notes app is my bestie because I
Yeah.
love to just riff and I love to throw things out there like ideas constantly. Like I'm all over the place. I have so many notes it's stupid.
Yeah.
But I do like I had made a list, a while back and it was X amount of things to do in my X years of living, kind of thing. And I
Mm.
didn't do all of them, right? All in that year.
Okay.
Although I made a valiant effort to do it because I was so dedicated. It actually was about 12 years ago, so I'm in a cycle here. Maybe horse is the year. I was born in the year of
Ooh.
the horse, so with the next
Ooh.
year of the horse coming up here, that's probably why I'm feeling a bit more inspired. But and I did not know that when I was inspired before, by the way. So that was a hindsight acknowledgement. But
Ooh.
so that's why I'm like, could there be some validity to this? I'll take it. Why not? So, what I can do in a lot of cases is I kind of bundle up stuff that's of like nature, right? So, if I make
Mhm.
my huge list and I go, okay, well, this is an outdoor item. Like, I want to hike, I want to camp, I want to blah, blah, blah. Well, those are all outdoor things, and I can probably accomplish a few of those together, right? So,
Sure.
oh, I want to kayak, those kinds of things. So, I can kind of make it sense of it. Not that I'm just trying to be a completionist for completionist's sake.
Yeah.
I just go, oh, while I'm there, it makes total sense to
Yeah,
dip
of
my toe
course.
into this other thing too. Why not? The other thing I find extremely motivational is if it's on someone else's list,
Oh,
right?
yeah, doing
So
something with someone else.
right, and it's like, if we're doing it together, if we're doing it together for the first time, God, I love learning something new with the people I love. Oh,
Yes.
it's such a good, warm, fuzzy feeling, like, I cannot, like, it again, it's mwah. So, it's just so much of who I am as a person to share in the experience because I love
Yeah,
watching this. I love sharing that excitement with someone else too. And
totally.
it doesn't have to be grandiose. It doesn't have to be, you know, like Mount Everest. It can
Yeah.
be going to, my local mountain over here. And I mean, and just kind of exploring what that looks like through other eyes, right?
Yeah.
So I might have gone up it multiple times, but I might not have done it with, my nephew who was 10 years old at the time and really experiencing something where he was so not into it and not believing in himself about it. And
Mm.
we went through some of the craziest, like, just fits about it while we were doing it. But I have this picture of him, and it's one of my favorite pictures of him, where
Mhm.
he has his toe tapped on the geo marker and he has got his arms up and he is feeling
Aw.
so accomplished and just proud of himself, and I
Yeah.
knew he could do it. It wasn't the hugest mountain on the planet, but it
Mhm.
was huge for him, and it was so beautiful to celebrate him in that moment and show him what he was also capable of, that it those defining moments, I feel, are the ones that you can tap back into as you're trying to push through this barrier that you've given yourself for anything else that you're just limiting yourself from.
Yeah. And
So
it's nice to get that perspective from someone else that's not you, right?
yeah, for sure.
Because whenever I do something that was hard or, I needed to be brave about, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I did that just like I always do things that are hard or whatever. And I don't give myself enough credit, right?
Mhm.
But when someone else is like, "Hey, look at this thing that was hard for you and you were so nervous about," and then you did it. And afterwards, you realized it wasn't that big of a deal. Like sometimes, right?
Right.
And we just make things out to be bigger deals in our head than they really are. I mean, there's validity to that too, obviously. But I mean, I find myself all the time like, oh, dude, I wish I would have been less blank about this because it
Mhm.
wasn't that big of a deal in the end to me.
Yeah, but that's also to say that you don't always have to have a witness, right? Like, you don't
Yeah,
have to. I know there's the whole "we're living in the pics or it didn't happen" stage.
I
I'm
know.
I'm not speaking to it from a position of essentially bragging to people about your accomplishment, right? Because I
Mhm.
feel like then that's when people go, "Okay, receipts," right?
Yeah,
I do feel that when someone dedicates their momentum to themselves and they really dig in and they push themselves, that they don't need to have a witness to what they can accomplish or what they accomplish.
for
Sure, it
sure.
can be nice to have that shared. It can be nice to have it acknowledged, but when do we become the most important person to prove it to?
Totally. And I
Yeah,
feel like that's kind of stuff that happens in our own heads, right? With our mental well-being.
for sure.
And it's like, I feel better that I handle X, differently now,
Uh-huh.
or I've developed these boundaries. And, well, boundaries people see, right? But people don't see what's going on in your head. So totally yes. And I love a little social validity,
Mhm.
social praise. I'm like, "Yeah, this was awesome. I did this." And I think that there's a good line between bragging and saying to the people
Feeling
you
chuffed.
care about, like,
Yeah.
"Hey, listen, I did this thing that was really cool." Like last week when you shared about, swimming with sharks. I hadn't talked to you yet about that trip in, like, detail, right?
Mhm.
And, I thought that that was so badass of you, And I'm happy to celebrate that about you. I've been
Oh.
seeing this thing on social media, that I love, and it's like, people are having these, like, celebration cakes, not for, like, a birthday or whatever, but stuff they've accomplished,
Uh-huh.
and, sometimes I get suckered into watching them, but it's so great. It's like, really sweet things, like, I, stood up for myself this year when I needed to, and all these other things that it's great to celebrate ourselves. There's so much yucky stuff. There's so much living in our routine and our own bubble and being in our own heads and being disconnected and lonely from each other, right? Because of technology and just honestly, I think a lot has to do with the media and they, all that couch riding and stuff that they show. It makes it okay to do that. But really, we're human beings and we need that connection to feed our souls and to live and to thrive, right? And
Right.
so we need these moments of celebration, not just moments of, sadness if something happens or that one time your cousin gets married or whatever. That trip that you and your friends take once a year and then you don't really see each other much. It's those little things that we need to get together and celebrate and just normalize hanging out with people again.
Right, and sharing the dream, right? And so a lot of
Yeah.
pieces I think sometimes we get to that point where when we're sharing some kind of idea that
Mhm.
gets scary to share it with somebody else because there's this whole like camp that's like keep it silent till it's done, right? Like they're
Mm.
like or there's the other camp that's like I want to tell the world because then it helps motivate me to stay on task and target, right? I I I am a pendulum that swings between both of those spaces and sometimes but I'm so social that
Mhm.
one part of keep it silent until it's done is so isolating and lonely for me. But
Mm.
I also know there's a lot of people out there that actually thrive really, really well in that space, and I am here for them for that. Like, I am championing
Yeah.
that as well. But, yeah, I feel like when we get into those moments, we're scared to share it. We're scared to be vulnerable because of the accountability. We're scared of the success, to be
Yeah.
honest with that. And I watched my mother, and she's no longer with us, but I watched her. She was a writer, and I watched her write and be very vibrant and be I loved listening to her talk. Oh boy. She
Mm.
would have had a perfect podcast, honestly.
Ugh.
She would have just been everything to listen to and articulate and so just knowledgeable and worldly. Sick. I love her. But
Chef's kiss to mom. Mwah.
Chef's kiss to mom. I love it. But I saw her almost be so afraid of success in her writing that
Mm.
it would paralyze her in some ways. And it was just, she was so talented and creative that I just, I still very much celebrate her for who she was in that
Mhm.
space and who she impacted and imprinted upon me, encouraged me and encouraged in me to be.
Yeah.
And so,
Oh.
yeah, so I feel like there's this moment where you get to that fear of actually succeeding because when you've done that, what's next, right? And,
Yeah.
and if you've already had one success, now everybody's expecting a subsequent success from you.
Mm.
And that's really just your own internal like narrative going on. And telling you you're not worthy of the success in the first place,
Yeah.
that you're a flash in the pan, that you don't
Mm.
have the discipline to continue. And that's not just something creative, that's just anything that we actually become successful with. So
Right.
if we fail, we become fearful of the failure, so we don't start, or we just kind of rec- become reclusive and shy away from it.
Yeah.
And so
So
I
when then can you give yourself that credit and say, "Hey, this is what success looks like to me, and, I feel satisfied where I am, and I'm going to do these endeavors now or also."
Right. I mean, I think that's some training, but I would love to hear what people's take on that. I mean, people who are good at celebrating themselves and their wins and like
Yeah.
really truly mean it and it's not performative. I want them to be like so raw and honest about it. I would love to hear about that because that's something I struggle with too because I don't I'm really
Yeah.
awkward about taking, credit or compliment. Like it's like, "Oh, okay." But I've
I
started to go
know.
just go, Thank you," because that's all I can
Yes.
say.
It's
So
awkward though, right?
right, so awkward.
It's so good to say thank you though, because
Mhm.
if someone is telling you something, I mean, sure, they may wanna be blowing smoke up your butt, but there's some validity to that, and they wouldn't say it, right? for those people that you trust if it
Right.
wasn't true. And so I think saying thank you is a nice acknowledgement of that, you know? I
Mhm.
appreciate that. I love that now we're in like the space where people are comfortable to tell their people like, I appreciate you. I
Yeah.
thank you so much for saying that beautiful thing about me. That is, makes me feel blank. Um,
I think generally but if dip
you got it.
generationally, there we are, is that we're getting better and better in that space. I
For
think
sure.
I can say space, but, that as we're going along, we are able to easily celebrate each other, and especially when you're talking about kind of the gender norms of celebrating each other, and, like, over time, like, you've seen, like, oh, women have always been a little bit more comfortable with celebrating each other, and just being like,
Mhm.
uplift. And men, and I don't want to make it just so black and white, what binary in that, because
Sure.
it transcends beyond that.
Of course.
But it is just one of the things that society has expected of particular gender specific roles, that now that we're able to have this fluidity in between and this comfort to celebrate each other, that it is beyond now the binary, which I like.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, same.
yeah.
I wanted to share that, related to what you were just talking about. When we were first starting to talk about this podcast, I was so excited about it that I would tell anybody. Because I'm in the belief that when you talk about something, it puts it out there, it makes it
Mhm,
real,
mhm.
and you never know who you connect with about stuff, right? So whenever I'm working on something, I like to just tell like-minded people about it because you never know what's going to show up.
Man,
And
I remember
I was
you.
telling you, I texted you and I was like, "Everyone is so excited for our podcast, blah, blah, blah." And you were like, I could feel the anxiety in your text. You were like, what do you mean you're telling people about our podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, just like random friends and colleagues that I have."
I was like,
And
"That's a
you're
lot
like,
of pressure. That's
"Yeah."
a lot of pressure."
Oh, I felt so bad, but
You
also
shouldn't.
it's the push, we
Right.
needed to be like, "Listen, this is real. We want to do this."
Yeah.
And, when are we ever gonna do it if we're not doing it now?
True,
Then
and
when?
I did appreciate it too after I was like, "I know I'm being vocal about this, and it's my inside thoughts coming out in a raw, like, fashion, and I
I
know
love that.
where your intention and your space, your position on it was, and it's your enthusiasm, it's been great." I didn't think that we weren't going to get here, but my perfectionist in my head was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, well, it's not even all we have are notes, like, all we have are
Yeah.
notes. We're still working on a logo, for goodness
And
sake,
then
and
this one over here drew up a logo like this. You see that awesome logo? I mean, maybe she worked on it for more than I think, but she really is so wonderful and such a creative artist. She just was like, "Boom, this sounds great." And it was lovely. I love, like, seeing other people who are good at their craft, or have that thing, their spark, and watching them in that space is so beautiful.
but
It's so
that was the
yeah.
crucible of the pressure that I got from it, and not bad pressure, it's like the
Yeah,
necessary pressure, right, where the diamond is going to. Now, it is not a perfect logo, it is a concept that I like, and I'm sure it's going to develop and refine over time because that's
totally.
how we do, but
Yeah.
it was the push. It was the push that was needed to kind of take that expression and move it into something tangible. And
Mhm.
I feel that we are going to be doing this with each other a lot. Like we already do, we already have between the two of us,
Yeah.
and how we are inciting that in the community here too. So it's
Yes. That is so
really
exciting to be
mm,
able to take our, like, the way we hold each other accountable and this beautiful relationship that we have and, like, spread it within our community
yeah. And maybe
and to
have
help
like
uplift others.
like a bucket for, like, the anxiety vomit that happens when you are being pressed for something that you said you were going to do, and now
Yeah.
you're like, just I wanna hear it. Like, I wanna hear it, like, from just the unfiltered spew of what it is that gets to that root of your fear, right? And then you go, "Okay,
Yeah.
that isn't that bad." that nugget that's sitting inside of you that's just tacking on all this, like, icky sticky, like,
Mhm.
doubt. Let's come on, let's, like, coax it forward. Let's be
Yeah.
kind with it. Let's be, compassionate towards it and
Yeah.
really sit with it for a second and then see what we can do to get it more comfortable with what you're asking it to do.
Yeah. I wonder if we could take that idea of, putting something that you did in a jar and that throughout the year, and then at the end of the year, looking at and reflecting on all the things that you've done.
Ooh.
Could you do that also with maybe not just like experiences that you had or whatever, but can you also do that with things that you've accomplished or that you felt good about? Even just saying, like, I drew a boundary in this situation. I mean, just I say that and like I feel so good. My shoulders feel
Uh,
soft and I just feel like, oh, yes, drawing that boundary is hard. And sometimes it's what you need for your own mental wellness, right? And so, what are these little things that you're accomplishing or doing, or this mindset you're achieving over the year? Throw that in a jar, throw it in a notes app,
yeah.
and look at it from time to time and acknowledge that. Oh,
Ooh. I was like, did we just come to a similar thing at the same time? I was
do
like,
it. You
light
go.
bulb. All right. No, I have a feeling I know what I want to do with a part of this podcast, and I'm
Okay.
curious. Anyway, I think we should totally ask people to open up their notes apps.
Mm.
Yeah.
And, and do what?
And explore it live. Like,
Oh,
I think,
like
like,
call in and record their reaction.
well, I mean, not even that. It's like if we have people, and now I'm saying I'm letting the cat out of the bag, so now they can be prepared. But let's
Okay.
catch people off guard and go, okay, let's grab the notes app, open it up, like
Yeah.
open up your
What's
wish
in
list
there?
of things, and let's pick one. Right? Let's start.
Yes.
Let's go for it.
Can I give
So,
the first example?
ooh, what's yours? Come on, let's
Because
do
this
it.
is what I was gonna say, which I love how they tie together so well.
Ah,
So I'm all about tools and tips and, like, real stuff that we can do, right?
for sure.
I heard of this thing about somebody was making a list of, like, 100 good things, right, in their lives, and, I was like, "Oh, I'm totally gonna do this, but I'm not gonna limit myself to 100." So, my list is just called good things, which
Oh,
that's what I should search for. And I'm gonna let me read you some of these things because 'cause they're so fun and they're so, like, quirky. You're gonna be like, "This is so Mary." Um, Taking a hike in the fall, sitting in stillness, like, those things are free.
right.
Being in nature, seeing the sunset, seeing the sunrise, being at the beach. Okay, let's keep going. Let's skip ahead.
Are you going through all of them?
No, I won't go through all of
Okay.
them. Reading a good book. I'm such a book nerd that yes, I love that. Um, let's see. Taking a nap at the beach, laying in the sand. I love that so much.
Yeah. Not everybody has such access to the beach, but you do.
Me either. No, dude, I live further from the beach now. It's very sad. Plus,
Mm,
this is New England. There's no, I mean,
I mean,
there's no really good beach experience.
there's some in
Oh,
Rhode Island.
Long Island.
Well, not Long Island, Rhode Island.
Oh, Rhode Island? It's very cold up there, though. Anyways,
I know.
seeing a rainbow sky. I love a good rainbow sky, right?
Right, right.
Um,
Are these
Holding a
things that
war
you wrote or is it
these are the things I wrote that I noticed
Ah.
were, like, good things in my life that I wanted to write down.
I really do think that the art of noticing is so important to mental health, for
Oh,
sure. So,
dude, I'm gonna tell you,
mhm.
literally noticing is the key to everything.
Right.
Everything.
Well, and
The
I would
end.
say anywhere from the goodness, but also to the witness aspect of in days and times that we can experience right now, it's
Yeah.
important to notice, right? And
Absolutely. And, to notice, yeah, yourself and your surroundings, to notice your body and those people you're impacting.
mhm.
Noticing is the key to wellness,
You heard it here.
mental wellness. I'm
Not I
telling
don't know
you.
if you heard it here first, but you heard it on this podcast
It's
at some
true.
point in its existence. So,
Because noticing even helps with your focus, right? Because you need to notice that you're not focused
Mhm.
to go back to focusing on the thing that you're doing or whatever. So, noticing is the key. Noticing what is showing up in your body, how, why. I always talk about that underlying why,
Yes.
you know?
Yep.
And so, yeah, I love that idea about going through people going through their notes app. That sounds so
We'll just
fun.
grab their phones from them unbeknownst and go, "Okay, we're pulling it up." But then I'm like, "Oh, people use their notes app for a lot of different things, so I would hate to intrude on anything, like, super personal."
Well, you can
But
see
yeah.
my Costco list anytime.
Oh, that's amazing. Grocery list.
Grocery
Ooh.
list. The best thing we did was do a shared note for groceries.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, chef kiss.
Mwah.
It was fabulous. But yeah, no, I love that idea. So I hope people maybe we can do it as like our interview when we chat with people, we can ask them if they want to open their notes app and hold themselves accountable for something.
Yeah, they don't have to take all of them, and or top 5
No,
or even the top 1. Like, I mean, let's get and it can be baby
one
steps, man.
or what's the first
I'm
step
totally okay.
there? We're
Yeah,
not here for judgment. We're curious, not judgmental.
right, the first step is opening that app. So
Yes.
so yeah, like, we wanna hear from you guys. Start rolling them in. We want to know where you are in your journey. We're
Yeah.
here sharing ours, and we'll continue to share ours much as, as much as our backlog, permits, I think. Then, I mean, we'll be here for the end of our lives. So get get ready to go
Perfect.
great with us, guys. So
Yes. Thank you guys
cool.
so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Reach out to our community. We're happy to support you guys there, and we hope that you will be kind and support one another too.
Yes.
Be
Be
well,
well.
friends.
Be well. Later, skater.
After a while, crocodile.
Got it. Still working on it.
Still
Mwah.
working on that outro.
Yes. Mwah.
Chef's kiss.
Yes. Bye.
Maybe that's it.
That's it. That's it. All right.
Love it.
So that's it for today's episode of Then When. Honestly, we could talk about this stuff forever, but we know you've probably got things to do, or at least a very long list of things you're thinking about doing.
It's been a blast. But before we head out, we want to hear from you. We're looking for your then and your when.
Exactly. If you've got a recent win you're proud of, that's your then. Or if there's a back burner dream item you've been putting off, that's your when.
Whether it's a total triumph or help, I'm procrastinating, we want to share your stories on the show.
Seriously, come say hi. You can DM us at thenwhenpod or shoot us an email. We can't wait to hear what you're working on.
Until next time, take care of yourself. We'll catch you on the flip.